Now let's talk about a woman who used to be funny. She's a former comedian. Now she is a Trump-deranged liberal activist, just like Kathy Griffin. This is none other than Chelsea Handler. She used to have a show that was off color. It wasn't politically correct. It was called Chelsea Lately on E! She would go out there. She would rail on everybody. No one was off limits. But something has happened in the last 10 years where she has decided to go so woke. And she's also kind of gone broke because she's a little bit more relevant than she was back then. But Chelsea Handler, she's gone so woke. She has such Trump derangement syndrome. She lives in this California elite Democratic bubble. Well, she is mad. She's mad about the Home Depot ICE raids. She thinks people need to boycott Home Depot and Spotify. Let's take a look at this clip.
But also, my house is under construction, so it's a perfect time for a larger boycott to Home Depot. If you scroll through my carousel, there's more information on Home Depot, and there's going to be a mass protest at all the Home Depots on 11/1, November 1st, which is Day of the Dead. And I'm also going to double down on my boycott, and I'm now boycotting Spotify. I've deleted Spotify from all of my stuff, from my phone, from my iPads. They are running ICE recruitment ads, and I am really disgusted watching any of these companies profit off of ICE. So the only way to get their attention is to boycott them. I hope you'll join me.
So what I find so hypocritical about this, if you guys remember, some of you who used to watch Chelsea Lately and used to watch all of her shows and social media years ago, so much of Chelsea Handler's shtick was about the Mexicans who worked for her, her gardeners. She had Chewy, who was this little Mexican sidekick on her show. She had sort of a show where you would see her housekeeper. It was all a thing where she had this Mexican staff, right? And she needed them to come across the border so they could work for her. It's interesting now. She's sort of dining out on the fact that people don't remember that people don't know that they're not going to piece that together. So for Chelsea Handler to go all, namaste, kumbaya, United Nations, it's just a bunch of BS. It's a bunch of BS. The only reason Chelsea Handler doesn't want illegals deported is because she needs people to work for her. That's the truth. The reason Chelsea Handler and all of her liberal rich friends in Bel Air are stressed about the ICE raids, they need people to come and work for them for pretty cheap, I would imagine. That's who Chelsea Handler is. So she's only upset because it's hurting her where she is at this point. She's scared that she's going to lose her gardener, her staff, her maid, her housekeeper. That's what she's worried about. And she used to make jokes about all of those people, right? It's not me being racist here. It's Chelsea. If you go back and look at her shows and look at her clips, her whole shtick was about the Mexicans who worked for her, okay? And drinking and tequila and Chewy, the little nugget she would call him, her sidekick on the show, sort of like Jimmy Kimmel. He has Guillermo. So all of these people, they love to virtue signal. They virtue signal all day long. But they're full of crap. And Chelsea Handler, you're also full of crap, okay? I would be shocked to see Chelsea Handler out, protesting a Home Depot. And her Bentley. She's going to take her Bentley off to Home Depot and protest in the parking lot. I'm also tired of this because these people aren't affected whatsoever. Okay, they aren't affected whatsoever. They don't care. They don't really follow the news. They just hear that a hot topic right now is to hate on ICE. They hear that Democrats and MSNBC are hating on ICE, so that's what they decide to do. But Chelsea Handler is about to call her Kamala Harris. I don't see much of a difference. They're both drunk idiots from California. But Chelsea Handler, I think her career will continue going down. I think her audience is going to continue shrinking because so much of her audience, they liked that she was off color. They liked that she was politically incorrect. Now she's gone down this woke rabbit hole. She's boring. She's absolutely boring. And she's past her prime. I hate to use a Don Lemon term, but she's past her prime in terms of comedy. I don't hear any jokes. When I do see some of her material, it's about how she's a liberal and she's a woman and she's a feminist and we have to protect women. Another thing I have to point out about Chelsea Handler, whenever I see clips of her, she's always yelling and angry about abortion, okay? Turns out the Dobbs decision, the overturning of Roe v. Wade, was the worst thing to ever happen to her in her entire life. Now, Chelsea Handler, she has no children, probably because she was getting a myriad of abortions. But Chelsea Handler, a lot of these liberal women, they thought that Kamala Harris was going to do something about abortion if she got back in office. The Supreme Court, the decision was settled. Okay, so you guys need to go take a civics class. You need to learn about the Supreme Court, learn about how the country works. And it's interesting. These women, more than anything, they don't care about the border. We could have a mass invasion of the border. They don't care about the invasion of Islam and radical Islamic terrorists. They don't care about anything really going on in this country. All they care about is if they can get an abortion. That is the one issue these rich liberal Democrats care about. And there's sort of a privilege There's a privilege for these liberal women, these wealthy liberal women, to have abortion be their number one issue. Because most women across the country, their main issue is I gotta put food on the table. I gotta buy eggs and milk and put gas in the tank and get my kids educated and do X, Y, and Z and keep my home safe. For these rich liberals in their mansions in California, it's a privilege for them. Their top issue is abortion, apparently. Their top issue is abortion. So, Chelsea Handler, you're full of crap, but maybe we'll keep tabs on you. We'll keep tabs on you, and maybe we'll pull up some of your old clips. Let's pull up some of those clips that aren't that old. They're from the 2010s, and we'll show how you're basically a phony and a fraud in changing your entire demeanor. You guys need to hear about this. Today's show is brought to you by Oxford Natural, the people behind Optimum Day and Optimum Night. These are all natural supplements, and thousands of Americans are already using them because they actually work. Here's the deal. Optimum Day gives you clean energy, kills those cravings, and helps with weight loss. Optimum Night, that's your reset button. It calms you down, gets you sleeping deep, and you wake up ready to go again. And the results are insane. Michael Owen, the England soccer legend, he is down 40 pounds. Robbie from AFTV dropped over 100. Linda, a top law exec, she's down 50. Real people, real results. So if you want in, scan the QR code or go to the link below. And if you use the code SPOT, you get 70% off your first order. Yes, 70% off, so don't wait. Start your transformation right now with Oxford Natural.